Okay, so hello, good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being part of the live broadcast today. Of course, it's always a pleasure to have you join us every weekend. And guys, this one today is really gonna be exciting because we are going to be talking about relationships. We are going to be talking about marriage. We are going to be talking about a very, very exciting topic. And I know that almost everyone there is quite interested to learn and to know what you would like to tell your partner and what you don't like to tell your partner, right? Because they used to say that every word that you say will be used against you in the court of law. So in
Yeah.
a relationship, it's just like sometimes there are things that you will talk about that will be used against you, and there are things that you will talk about that will strengthen you. However, this is not my place to talk so much about it. Let it not be overemphasized because as we begin this live show today, you are going to learn deep secrets. I mean, deep secrets from people who are experienced, people who are knowledgeable. Now, what do I say? Let's share the live broadcast. Share, comment, let me know where you are watching it from today. Okay, hi Cindy, thanks for joining the live broadcast this evening. Please share and then invite your friends. Hello, Joanne. Thanks for joining. Michael, Delphine, I see you guys. Hey, guys, come on in and then share this live broadcast. Share this sweetest broadcast today. Let's go ahead. Let's march on like soldiers. Okay, so we have Unity joining. We have Lynn. I mean, I see my people always there. Thank you so much, guys, for supporting us. Thank you for always being there. Thank you for all your effort. I see you and appreciate you. And then I'm also going to go ahead and share as you share. Let us know where you're watching from, and also tell me how are you doing today. How is your area today? Marcina, backup. Thanks for joining. Thanks for your support. Thanks, Parvin, for joining. Thanks for sharing. Thank you, everybody, for being part of the live broadcast today. We appreciate you. I see you. I'll be bringing our most esteemed guest on board in a couple of minutes. I mean, guys, oh God, it's like you don't know what is going on. If you knew the way these people are prepared today, you will not actually even be waiting again. If your data is not well charged, go ahead, recharge it, and then get ready to come. I know what I'm talking about, right? I know what I'm talking about. And again, this live show today is going to be interactive, meaning that we will be giving the opportunity for you to call in and also give your view how interesting that could be for us to be able to go beyond comments at the comment section and hear people call in and also give in their own points of view about relationships, about things that you should do and things that you should not do. We are talking about the do's and the don'ts. Hey guys, come on in. Please share the live video. Tell me, how are you today and where are you watching from? I am Christian Gong, or you can call me Daddy Chris, and I'm your host today as usual. Okay, we have Courage. Courage, how are you doing today? Oh, we have Elizette. She's always there. Thank you for always joining the live shows. It looks like I've not yet shared to all the places that I'm supposed to share to when I don't share. And then okay, we also have people who are joining us from YouTube. If you are watching from YouTube, I say hi to you. If you are joining from Facebook, watching from Voice of the Voiceless main page, or you are watching from Gone Christian, I salute you. Thank you, guys. Hello, Desmona Fai. Thank you so much for joining the live broadcast. How are you also doing today? I think it's been a while since I saw you. I appreciate you joining the program today too. It's a pleasure to have you here. Okay, we have Ndumi Olivet. Okay, so guys, we are going to be officially starting the live broadcast today. So I'll be bringing our guest on board. I'll be bringing and introducing the people that we have today who are part of the program or who are our guests today. Okay, so I will bring people to board. Okay, hi everybody. Good evening. Thanks so much for being part of the live broadcast today. As I said, my name is Christian Gong, or you call me Daddy Chris, and I'm so excited to be your host today. We are going to be talking about a very exciting topic today. Let me put my call lines on board so that you can be able to see and if maybe participate later if you want to. So we are going to be talking about a very interesting topic. We are talking about relationships, and I have lady and gentleman on the board today. I know most of you have seen one face, and then there's another face that you are like, oh God, who is this that is joining us today? Well, it's a new person that is joining us today, and you will be learning more about her and also tapping into her wealth of knowledge and experience, because she's not just gonna be telling you what she knows, she's also gonna be telling you what she has practiced. Now, before we go to her, I have our relationship coach in the studio, who is no other person but St. Jerry. Hi, Jerry. Good evening. Thanks for joining us today,
Good
sir.
evening, Daddy. Good
Of
evening.
course,
Thank you
Jerry.
so much. It's always a pleasure to be here. So
Of
grateful,
course.
sir.
Of course, it's a pleasure for us having you as well. It is one thing to have someone in the studio to talk, and it's another thing to have someone who is quite experienced and knowledgeable, and who is again, I don't know what to call it, but you have it all figured in one. Now, how are you feeling today?
Well, it's been raining here in Limbe all throughout the day, so it's really wet outside. But internally speaking, we're very much alive and alert, and I can tell that tonight is going to be another episode of knowledge. I'm just excited. I'm just excited.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my God. I know that it's gonna be exciting today. Tonight it's gonna be exciting. Myself, I already feel the fire in me already. I feel the excitement because I know the importance of what we're going to be talking about today, and I know how impacting that is gonna be. So everybody that is joining this live broadcast today, wherever they're joining from, they are going to pick something to take back home. Now let me give the floor to our lady in the house, Anika. Hello, good evening.
Hello, Daddy Chris. Good evening. I'm so happy to be in the house. So delighted. I'm so happy. I'm so optimistic about this show today because it's not just going to help married people, but it's also going to help. It's also going to help those who are single, those who are in a relationship. So I'm so delighted to be here.
Thank you so much. And I understand that today we are going to be talking about a relationship. The topic is, how open should I be with my spouse about my past relationship? Now, before we go to take a deep dive into the topic today about being how open, or how, when we talk about somebody being open to the spouse, what does that actually entail in the first place?
Okay. I would like to say that being open to your spouse or to your partner, in my view, it means for you to be truthful.
Okay.
You should be truthful. You should be clear. You should be you should be open to your partner. Like you should be a blank paper before your partner. Now, being truthful entails wisdom. It's not all truth. It's not all truth is truth, but it's not all truth that should be said anyhow.
Okay. I like
Yeah.
that word.
So you must apply wisdom in being truthful. So that's how you can be open to your partner or to your spouse.
Oh God, I like that statement, and I like the way you analyzed it. It is not all truth, that's truth. So there is truth and there are truths. So you have
Yeah.
to apply wisdom in the way you are telling your truth. Now, let me quickly bring in our coach, Jerry. Now, Jerry, based on your own understanding, what can you tell us about being open in a relationship before we go deep into our topic today? Like being open, what does that really entail?
Okay, thank you very much, Daddy Chris, and thank you, our dear listeners and audience. Um, Being open in a relationship is more of understanding the degree to which you can give information to the person that you are in a relationship with. Now, I say that because what a dear lady just said now, very, very important. Being open in a relationship begins with understanding the ability of the person you're in a relationship with, his ability or her ability to manage information. Because it's not just the information you're giving, it's not even about the information, it's about who is receiving that information. It's not about the truth you're telling, it's about who you're telling the truth to. As we'll be going more into the discussion, you'll find out that over time people got into trouble because they wanted to be honest. Yeah. And you also find out people like Abraham, who we supposedly should be the father of faith, telling people that Sarah, who at the time was his wife, that is his sister. Now, that kind of information is very funny because you wonder, is it really is your sister? Well, it depends who he is talking to. So I will say that dealing with honesty or being truthful in a relationship begins not with the truth, but to who you're telling the truth. What is the capacity of the person to accommodate that information you're giving? And what is the extent to which they can manage that information without causing crisis?
Of course, this is awesome. Like, people will be like, if the mighty Abraham, the father of faith, will not tell the truth about his relationship, and then who am I, just a normal person, not to twist things about my relationship, for as long as what I'm twisting is gonna help. Now let's say let's send special greetings to Mr. Wogo Richardson Eyong W.E. Richardson, who is watching us from Ikeja in Lagos. He's always part of our team here all the weekends, and he's an interesting guy too, who attends and gives a heavy weight to our program. We especially recognize you this evening, sir. And then we have comments that are coming up the comment section from people like Desmond Yaya, who says that it's not all truth you should tell your partner because we are human. They can judge you at a point in life. And then, so we are going to be taking those comments as time goes on. Now, I will like to shift my microphone back to the lady in the studio, who is Anika. And then I will be asking her a question, because first of all, I understand that you don't control, like when you are in love, somebody once sent a picture of a lady, like it was a meme. The lady was diving into the stream with all her body. And the person said that that this is how women fall in love. You know that when women fall in love, they fall with all their heart, and it's actually always difficult for them to hold back some truth. Now, you made a point at the beginning of this session today that you need to apply wisdom in telling the truth. And we used to say that love is blind. When love is blind, it also blinds your ears, blinds your eyes, and even blinds your mind. Now, Anika, let's get back to you as a lady. What are some of the things, the truth? You said that you have to be like an open page, like a blank page. Now, considering the fact that falling in love makes you blind, or falling in love, like ladies, we know, don't tell me no, because I know 99% of ladies, when they fall in love, they say everything. How are you going to manage this situation from telling your partner everything and even things that your partner does not need to know?
We don't just get into any relationship and start saying whatever we want to say. We first of all screen the things, we first of all screen the person we are in that relationship with. When you screen that person and you know the person's ability to receive information and to manage the things he hears, it's going to shape you on how to talk to that person, or on how to tell that person whatever you want to. And I want to put it back to you that gone are the days that love is blind, that we fall in love with our heads, ears, everything closed. No, now everybody is alert. Everybody is alert. It's true, women in particular, they fall in love like they want to give in all their best. But now the truth is, so many women, they shape the things they say on their first date. So what I'm going to tell a woman or a girl like me that that is in that type of situation is that, first of all, study who you are with in that relationship before you start knowing where and what to start with to tell that person.
Well, that is excellent. Now, okay, so I'm going to. I loved the. She said that you need to be able to screen your man or to screen your woman. Let me just put it both ways,
Yeah.
to make sure that the information that the person is able to receive and see how the person is going to process the information. Now, I'll have to bring in Jerry. I know that, Jerry, let me ask you a question, because I know, like, will you be so happy being with a lady in a relationship if you realize that the lady selects the information to give you based on your abilities to screen and accept that information? Because being a wise guy, like me, for example, if I'm with a lady in a relationship and she tells me things, and like there are things that she's holding back because it is based on her judgment on how I handle those stuff, I will know. Now, will you be so happy to open up to a lady in a relationship whom you see that tries to check your capacity, I mean your ability to process information before the lady releases the information to you?
Daddy Chris, with all honesty, I know that someone who's following us is going to be saying, "Oh God, this guy is just lying." But truthfully speaking, under heaven, if I find a lady who does not give me every information but gives me information based on who she thinks I am, I'll be happy. Now, so I'll be happy because let me just take the opportunity to say this. Um, a dear lady said something very important when she began to spoke and mentioned the word wisdom. Dr. Miles Monroe said one time that wisdom will deliver you from the dangers of knowledge, because a lot of people have knowledge, but they do not have the wisdom to manage the knowledge they have. And if I find a lady who tells me information, not completely, but because of who she now believes I am, then I will understand that she's operating on something beyond emotions. Now, that Chris, believe you with me, women are emotionally built. Naturally speaking, they are a bundle of emotions looking for a way to find expression. And it is
Okay.
difficult to find a few of them who really operate based on understanding. I use that word understanding because, in as much as we think that wisdom is important, the Bible says this. It says wisdom is principal, therefore get wisdom. Then he said, with all you're getting, get understanding. Many people don't have understanding, including those who have wisdom. So you find out that there are people in a relationship, they have the wisdom to manage the relationship. So why do they get into trouble? Because of understanding. Like we said previously, you can have an information, and because you do not understand who you are in a relationship with, you mess up the whole thing. In that, Chris, I remember. Let me just say, it's my personal life now. I remember I was in a relationship with a lady some time ago, and out of honesty and love, sir, she will screenshot the messages from other guys who trying to woo her and send it to me, including her own responses. And she believes that when I look at them, I'm gonna be like, "Oh, this lady is just amazing. She loves me. Oh, look at the kind of guy she's turning down for me." But that's not the way I was interpreting it, because men are not women. Now she thinks that that's a good one. She didn't know much about me. I didn't interpret it that way. I felt like I was in a competition, and you know that, averagely speaking, a man does not want to be tolerated. He wants to be celebrated. So I think if I find a lady who understands who I am and then limits the information she gives me based on who I am, I applaud to her. Truly speaking, I'll be like, wow.
Okay. Now, Jerry, this is quite awesome. And then, guys, this is getting interesting. And I mean, I want to thank those of you who are still making your way into the live session this evening. Again, my name is Daddy Chris, and I'm in the studio today with Jerry, St. Jerry, of course, who is joining us from Limbe. I also have Anika, who is joining us from Yaoundé. And then, guys, we are talking about relationships, and we are talking about what you should be able to tell your spouse. in a relationship and what you should not tell your spouse. Now, we are going to also be opening our lines for those who want to call in and participate. Now, before I go to taking more as far as the topic for today is concerned, I have a wonderful and an excellent contribution from Ogo Richardson. And I'm going to be reading this contribution and bringing Anika to make a comment on this as we move forward with our today's program. This is how we're going to be doing it. So, Anika, on the screen, Richardson says that indeed, when it comes to discussing past relationships with your partner's spouse, the level of openness can vary depending on your comfort level and the dynamics of your relationship. Now, this comment, I think, is in line with what you said at the beginning of your show, that sometimes when you tell your spouse information, you see the ability to process it. Like, it makes you comfortable to discuss more. Now, don't you think that there are things that at the beginning you will tell them and they begin to feel comfortable? For example, you can tell your spouse about people that you dated and she's okay and he's okay, and then the moment you tell her about how you about how you aborted in the past, and then he becomes angry, what makes you feel that you will be so comfortable to tell your spouse everything? Like, is it very possible to tell him everything? Oh, I
Okay,
muted you.
so this is this
Yes, go ahead, please.
this is what I have to say regarding what regarding the question you've asked me. So the thing is that when you stay with with a man, I want to take it. A woman has something that is called you explain situations that have been happening, and the situations not necessarily relationship. That woman's instinct would detect if abusing you. So the truth is, so many people, they want to fake who they are. There is no need to fake who you are in order to know somebody. Just be mature, just flow in the way the relationship is going, and just know how you put each step or say each thing, because whatever you say is going to be used against you. You rightly start the program. Whatever you say is going to be used against you. So in order not to be on that part where your trust will be tampered on, your judgment, like people being judged, study the person first. Study, read the person's language. What every little thing, even the ones that makes you laugh, listen to it. Listen to it with your soul. Get to the depth of everything the person says. Funny enough, I'm that type of person that I can, on just with just 1 minute that I discuss with you, I can know you. I can read you and tell you what you do even in the next 5 years. I will know.
Wow.
But now it would depend on me, knowing that you are this type of person. I would like to talk. I would like to tell you what I want to tell you. And before I want to tell you, even if you use what I've told you against me, it will not affect me in any way. And that's what both the men and the women should build in themselves. Build yourself, have that capacity that whatever information you tell somebody, even if they want to use it against you in any way, you have the ability, you have the inner strength
The network is crashing.
overcome.
Okay. So I think she made Okay, I think she made a powerful point there, and this is what I'm going to take home. Somebody like me is very hard to convince me, but that point really convinced me. It's like if I was one of the viewers, I'll be able to, I'll feel convinced, and I'll be forced to end the live show. If I was looking for an answer, I think she already gave an answer, but since I'm not every viewer, I'm going to continue with this live show. Now, she said something which is so powerful, that before you tell your spouse something, know that even if it is used against you, you will take it. Which means that before you make an action, already you should be you should be able to determine the reaction. Like before you do something, feel that if what I'm doing today, if the consequences come tomorrow, I will take it. Because oh God, some of you talk a lot. My God. Before you go into a relationship, you are telling your spouse things that happened in 1990 when you were not even born. You tell your spouse about your family issues, people that have epilepsy, your family, those that have killed other people, and things that you just discussed with your father last night. That you said that never tell anybody because you're in a relationship. You're already telling your spouse. You meet a boy today, tomorrow you're already telling the boy about. I mean, you have told the boy or the lady about all your family secrets. When they begin to they bring them back about to you, you start saying that you're insulting my family, you are insulting us, that we are poor and this and that. Now, just like Anika said, there are things that you cannot hold them back. But before bringing out these things, you ask yourself, are these things that I am going to take when the time comes? So let's take another reaction and then on the board, and I'll bring Jerry to talk about I'll read the reaction again from Wogo Richardson, and then I'll bring Jerry to talk about it, and then I will have a question to ask him, a very powerful question at that. It's like a direct attack to us men, but since you are representing us, I will ask you that question. I know that you're a good, you can be able to answer it. So let's read what Richardson said on the board. Richardson said that, I think trust and communication play a vital role. Open and honest communication is the foundation of a healthy relationship. If you feel comfortable and trust your spouse, sharing some details about your past relationship can deepen your connection and understanding of each other. Secondly, timing and relevance. It's important to consider the timing and relevance of discussing past relationship. The timing and relevance. Early on in a relationship, it may be more appropriate to focus on getting to know each other in the present. As your relationship grows and becomes more serious, sharing some details about your past can help foster a deeper level of intimacy. Jerry, do you agree with this point?
Daddy Chris, I agree to an extent. There's a word he uses there, honesty, that I want to say something about it. It is important that in as much as we are passionate to make our relationships work, we must be determined to... The truth is this, Daddy Chris, everybody has skeletons in the cupboard. We cannot hide. This is reality. Everyone has, and skeletons does not mean secret sins. No, that's not what we're talking about. Skeletons in the cupboard means a part of your life that you may not be very comfortable to share with everyone.
Okay.
Now, like our dear sister said, she said that she can meet a man and know him, even tell what you're going to do in 5 years. Now, to be very honest with you, I agree with her to an extent too, because to be honest with you, people only know you to the extent to which you're open. There are people who can hide for 10 years. You will never know that. I mean, why do you think people have what they call heartbreaks and all what they term them? Because something you did not expect. I mean, to the widest of your imagination, you find people doing certain things. So I think that those who are following and listening keenly, we are not teaching people how to hide secrets. We are saying that in as much as you want your relationship to work, you must know what to say. I give you a very practical example. If I'm a lady and I meet a guy, and for example, I had kids before meeting him, I cannot hide it, because part of the relationship is predicated on that concept. I mean, kids? Did you ever have kids before? Do you have children? You can't hide something like that. It doesn't just make sense at all. Daddy Chris, but if you go to the extent of saying things like, do you know that before I open up to accept you, I really don't know what God has done in my life, because I just turned guys down. I have been in 5 relationships and they have all been the same, men are dogs, and the guy's listening. The first relationship I got into, he got me pregnant and refused to take responsibility, and I could not keep the baby because my parents were not ready. Oh, the guy is counting, so you aborted. Now, and then you count series of abortions that you did not, in your opinion, you're being honest. The guy listening to you is not an emotional being. Men by nature are logical beings. They are created logically. He may even be nodding his head and say, oh, as if he's pitying you. But he can tell, I'm sitting right in front of a woman who has been torn in the hands of men. There are certain truths that are not useful. We should keep them and say what is important. I think that will make relationships work. Doesn't mean you are hiding something from him. You're just saying what is useful.
Okay. So there are useful things that you should say, and there are some that you should not be able to say. Okay, now let's find out from Anika. I think I'm liking this topic, guys. It's really interesting this evening. Of course, it is, because I'm getting to learn a lot. If I were to go back to a new relationship today, I'm sure the lady will hear hot from my hand, because I'm actually learning. Of course, I'm really learning. Not to be fair with you. Okay, so now, Anika, so let me ask you this question. Based on what Jerry has just said, before I go into other contributions, I think it's in line. Do you really buy the idea that some things, like maybe you have had abortion in the past, like there is a limit to some of the things that you should tell? I think we are really getting deep into the topic now. We are getting into the deep sea in River Mongo. Let me ask you this question. Now, are there certain things that you should not just tell your spouse at all? Or like you said in the beginning, are you supposed to tell them but apply wisdom, or certain things you should not just tell them at all? Like, let's say you just got into marriage and then you have aborted in the past. Can you actually tell your husband, say, honey, I'm sorry. Oh God, she is going. Oh my God. I don't know this. Okay, are you there? Oh, let me see. Yeah, can I hear her? Can you hear us?
I can hear you.
Okay, now let's say you just got into marriage. Are you so open? Can you tell your husband that, honey, I'm so sorry, I've aborted 15 children in the past?
That's very funny. But first I want to say, if you kept that information and waited to after marriage before telling that man, that's deception.
Okay.
That's deception. And on the other side, it will depend on the man, but most men, even if your man is an angel, he will not take that information lightly, because you have deceived him. No man enters a relationship to be looking at you, and then you are looking at him, and no child or children in that relationship. For you to know that you had aborted, and maybe along the way you have been trying to conceive and it was difficult, and you did tell that man when people were still cutting, and then you wait when people entered marriage, that's when you told him that, oh, you see, I got pregnant, I aborted a baby, and that's deception. Even if I'm in that man's shoe, I will not even consider that as marriage. So it depends. I'm not saying that my judgment now is on a personal note, but then what I would say in that situation is that that's deception. But it will take the grace of God. It will take the grace of God. It will take the grace of God for you to have a man that will digest such an information lightly, and maybe be trusting God that along the way you will get pregnant. But notwithstanding, like Jerry said, information should be managed, because I want to even believe that the interpretation of our topic has to be how to manage information in relationship. So we must learn to manage information, know what to say at what time to say it.
Okay.
So I don't know if I answered your question.
You answered my question, and then I have a bullet. I don't. It's. I have a question for you that is coming in from for you. I don't know if it. It's not a question anyway. I'm going to throw what the Foini Sidonius has put in. Foini Sidonius, thank you so much for joining the live broadcast today this evening. We especially recognize your presence, and then I'm going to be reading your comment, and then asking Anika to talk a little bit about that. And I have someone said, you have a testimony, Anika. Someone said that all what Mom Anika is saying, I attest to it because I am a testimony for such. If we don't screen our partners well, opening your past to him might instead be your nightmare. You have already started having testimonies that are coming in. So you are prophesying. You are not just talking on this live show today because you have a testimony that's coming in. Okay. Now, let me go to my brother here, Sidonos. Oh, his comment just went off my screen here. I want to read it from my phone so that I should be able to read it without any problem. Okay, I also have, oh my God, I have a lot of people that are coming in. Okay, so Sidonos says that, how open should I be with my spouse about my past relationship? It's same as Chris. In answering that, I will begin by saying this. When you are with someone, master how they behave and use that to treat them with. This topic is very sensitive than we think. People have hidden sensitive information about their past, and it has led to death of their spouses. That is, some spouse have been poisoned by the so-called exes. Now, I'm not even going to read all this because it's sitting on my screen, but it's so powerful. Okay, Anika, you said there is, for instance, right? This is a bullet now to you. And if the bullet comes, host Sidonius are not me. I'm a very innocent person in my life. I've never killed a rat. So this question is sponsored and by Sidonius. You just got married to your spouse today, and for example, you never told your spouse that you had a blood oath with your ex. And because you had this blood oath with your ex, you failed to tell your spouse, but now you are in marriage. And just as we said, there are things that you are supposed to have told them before you got married, but now that you did not tell them, and then you know that this is actually going to take away their lives if you don't tell them. Are you still going to go ahead and tell your spouse this information? And if yes, which criteria are you going to, which kind of management are you going to use to tell your spouse to make sure that it doesn't bring a problem? Or do you just damn the consequences and tell them?
Okay, to answer this question, what I want to say is that there are some things that you will say to your partner that will be testimony. Are you there, Daddy Chris?
Yes, I'm there with you, live
Okay.
and direct.
There are things you are going to say to your spouse that will be testimony. If you had a blood pact with your ex and you didn't tell your spouse, okay, now you've got yourself in that marriage and you're seeing that some of the consequences of deviating from that blood pact is already affecting your marriage. What you have to do as a woman or as a man in this situation is to find that ex. Try to see that you people resolve that or take back whatever you people signed together. If this ex is dead, try to get a password. Now you are fighting. This battle is not battle that concerns your spouse. You need to know that this spouse in question is not connected to what you are going through. It's connected, but it's not directly connected to it. So now what do you have to do? You have to fight this battle by yourself until you see that it is getting to a particular level. That's when you can bring your spouse or maybe the pastor, whoever that will be leading you through that situation, might say you have to unleash something. You have to confess to your spouse in order to set yourself free. And then you confess to your spouse. But having a situation like that with your ex, a blood pact, and then now you discover you want to tell your spouse in marriage, oh, I had a blood pact with my ex, or this is what is happening. No, you first of all demoralize that man before. If that man is not mature enough, or the woman is not mature enough, they won't be able to withstand. They won't be able to tolerate that information that you are giving them at the moment. So what you have to do is start fighting what you started without them. You have to fight it yourself. Consider yourself that you are alone at that moment.
To fight
Now,
the battle.
if you find yourself, if you see that you succeeded in it, one day you will say it to your spouse, but in a testimony. And at that moment, you have managed his emotions. You have made sure you do not destroy your marriage. You do not cause any tension, any hitch in your marriage. So that's what I have to say regarding that situation. There are some battles, there are some informations which are battles in your marriage that you need to fight it yourself, not necessarily involving your partner. You can only involve your partner in a situation where maybe you want to get married and your ex wants to blackmail you, something like that. And then you have to say it. You have to say it because he has to destroy what you are about to build together. But now you've already gotten into a covenant with this man, and then things are happening that way. You have to face it.
I like the way you are coming in. I like the way you are analyzing it this evening. I like the angle you're coming in from. And then I'm going to let me go to St. Jerry. By the special grace of God, he's also a man of God and not just a relationship coach. And now I want to now connect the dots. I want to be trying to connect the dots. I want to be using the Bible and using just relationship at the same time. But I'm not going to be quoting Bible verses because I don't want anybody to use a Bible verse against me that no, it is Matthew chapter 3, not Matthew chapter 4. I'm not going to talk about that. But I'm going to ask you this question, St. Jerry. Now, do you, first of all, I don't want you to say, do you, first of all, I'll be reading Sidono's full comment. He sent me the full comment. I'll read it after this question. Now, St. Jerry, is it, I want to ask us a question anyway, but I already know the answer because I know your point of view already, but I just want you to clarify it before I ask the question. Do you stand, are you in line, in synergy with the point Anita just raised saying that there are things battles in your relationship that you need to fight alone sometimes? There are things that you don't need to tell your spouse, you need to try to figure them out yourself.
Yes, she's correct because, I mean, think about a football team. They go into that football pitch as a team. Mm-hmm. There is no day they say that a particular player won a cup. They may give you maybe a medal or something, but to think that you won the cup, it has to be in the name of the club.
Okay.
And now, let's say you're playing the defense. When the ball is on your wing, you have a particular fight to fight alone, but you're fighting for the team. It only gets worse if what you're doing is because of your selfish gratification, like maybe you just want to do it for yourself.
Okay.
Now, I'm saying that to connect it to what she said, that you can have certain battles to fight alone. If there are things in your life that you know personally speaking, there are things I can help you with by advising you. I may not necessarily fight them off, but I can be sure that in as much as we are together, I'll always be here for you. But I can't fight those battles for you. So truly speaking, there are battles you have to fight alone.
And now I then throw back this question to you as the man of God. Now, what is the? I know that the Bible talks about 1 + 1 = 1. Now, believing that you came into a union as a 1 + 1 = 1. How is that one that we are talking about? Is it really one, or that one has two different like head and tail? So if you are in a relationship and there are some battles that you actually fight alone as a husband, as a wife, because you don't want your person to know, are we actually respecting that biblical definition of 1 + 1 = 1, or let's just forget about the Bible now and continue the live show?
Okay, now the Bible says that the two shall become one, right? They shall become one flesh. Let me be very specific. The words that I use in the Bible is actually, and the two shall become one flesh. Mm-hmm. It says flesh for a reason, because man is natively a spirit. You only wear a flesh, But he says that you shall become one flesh, because he knows that in as much as you're spirit beings, but you operate in the flesh. Now, not to get too spiritual. I don't want to take somebody to church now, but the point is this: like I just mentioned, sir, a football team is called a single team. It's one team. It's one team. But when you are playing a particular wing in that field, you make certain you fight certain battles. If I were to call them battles from the opponents, you fight them alone before you get to pass the ball to the next person. You have to fight certain things alone. But now, what gets my attention is fighting in secret.
Yeah.
I think that's where the problem is. So the problem may not be fighting battles. The problem may be fighting the battles in secret. Because
Thank
the
you so
question is,
much.
how did you get there?
Mm-hmm.
The question will be, how did you get there? It shouldn't be in secret. I can let you know what I'm going through. Let me give you an example. Maybe I hope this fits into context. If I have an illness, you may not help me, but I can let you know what I'm going through. I'm fighting it alone, but we are still in marriage. So it should not be something I'm trying to hide from you, because that's already, it's not oneness again.
It's a red flag.
It's not.
Red flags in
It's a red
marriage.
flag, sir.
Okay, now, of course, it is a red flag because normally I believe that there is wisdom in marriage. There are things that you need to be able to know how to go about it. For example, fighting battles and not letting your spouse know that this is the battle I'm fighting. It is just like being in a team and then trying to do things without letting your team members know, because a team is actually a place where you will have to be in synergy with each other, even though we might not do it together, but you have to update people to let them know that this is what you are doing at this time. I had a recent video that I watched, a Nigerian skit where a lady had to keep on going back to the ex to figure things out. And when the guy discovered it was a mess, and they finally end up separating, because some battles will expect you to even go to your ex. For example, like Anika said, there are people that might have gone into a blood pact, and then it will entail you having to go back to meet your ex to make sure that you people unsign that blood pact. What will you tell me if I get up today and a friend of mine just tell me, "Hey Chris, I saw your babe today with the ex"? I know that I don't want to collapse, but I will definitely collapse, because the marriage will just, everything goes away. I cannot just take that. Now, let's complete Sidonia's comment so that you will give a view, your own point of view, Jerry, and then I take another comment on the screen. Okay, Sidonia said that, well, people have hidden sensitive informations about their past, and it has led to death of their spouses. That is some post. Okay, some spouses have been poisoned by the so-called exes from the past relationship that may be ended abruptly. You will agree with me that such scandalous acts could have been averted if they were well informed of their ugly past or old grievances that are not yet fixed. Some exes go as attacking, that is in brackets. Now, I have heard of such cases in news, especially Douala and Buya. Mother and children poisoned. It happens everywhere. As an effect, many women have lost their marriages because of their horrible past opening up, issues of barrenness, the one resulting from abortions, like we talked in the beginning. Yeah, we talked about that. So let's forget about telling your partner the truth, that the person who loves you will still love you. Let's forget about telling your partner about the truth, that the person who loves you will still love you. Okay, now rather I will say, know what is important, and not only that, see into that the person's attitude can bear with the information. When you want to open up, ask yourself, if it's important in any way. How is it going to help? If it won't help for the growth of the relationship, then it's not important. So Sidonius is basically saying that you can tell your ex about the truth, everything, that if the person still loves you, the person will love you. And then he says that before opening up, you should ask yourself again, is it really important for the growth of the relationship? I don't know if you have a comment to talk about this before we take another one.
He has said a couple of things that Chris, but that, he said something that is very, I don't know how to put it, but this is a bit challenging now. Just open up, tell everything you have to say. Whoever loves you will still love you. It's not true. Not today. And I don't want to sound as though people love people because I don't know something about you. But the truth is this: what most of us call love is not decision making. We love people based on what we know about them. We love them based on the information that we have about them. Now, Daddy Chris, I want to put two contrasting views on the table. I should even use the word contrasting. I said something that everybody has a skeleton in the cupboard, sir. And I reiterated on that point that the idea of having a skeleton in the cupboard doesn't mean you have secret sins, some nasty things you're hiding. No, it doesn't mean that. It means that there is a part of your life, a scar you will not want to show everyone, depending on what they think, because life is about perception. But we did not say that people have bombs in the cupboard, because when you have a bomb in the cupboard, now that's a different thing. It can explode.
Yes.
It can explode. If I have a past that I know will have an effect on anyone I get into a relationship with, I will not keep it until they get to know about it. No, because that's dangerous now. Like the point you just mentioned, getting to know that your wife's ex, that somebody tells you, I met your wife with her ex. Do you know that, honestly speaking, you will not even want to know what in the world were they talking about? You already suspect them. Something is going wrong now. What in the world were you doing with her or with him?
The detox say road where man don't pass day, hard for pass again. That's what they used to say now. A road that when somebody has passed, like seeing my ex with the ex, it speaks volumes now. So now, Jerry, let me bring this comment from Electa. Hey, Electa, we specially recognize you in the studio today. Thank you so much for being part of the live broadcast. So now Electa says that not everyone likes to share the nitty-gritty of their past. Some want to take things to the grave, while others are okay with divulging every detail about their history. No matter how much you are willing to share, remember that every relationship is unique. This point alone is talking a lot. Now, second paragraph, she said, some people want full. Do we want us to take this paragraph by paragraph, or I should just go ahead and read the whole thing?
No, just go ahead, sir.
Okay, she says, some people want full disclosure of their partner's past. Others are okay with just getting an outline. But there are certain things from your past that made you who you are today. Telling your partner about those is important to build a strong connection. There might not be any similarities between your last partner. Therefore, you may feel like your new partner doesn't need to know about your past toxic relationship. But telling them about it is what gives them an idea of who you are, what was missing in your past relationship, and what baggage you are carrying from it. Then again, what if you share everything and your partner doesn't know how to deal with their spouse's past relationship? Some people are obsessed with their partner's past relationships and start to suffer from retroactive jealousy. Retroactive jealousy is quite common, and it occurs when someone gets jealous about their partner's past relationship. People suffering from it can't stop thinking about how their partner's relationship with their ex was and start straining at one point. There is retroactive jealousy that she mentioned here, and then I will put a point before we go ahead. I want to put it this way because still going back to something that came up in this live show, that there are things that you should tell your ex when you guys are not still yet married about your past ex. Like Electra has quite said, just imagine that, Jerry, you got married to your wife today, a beautiful lady that you people have never done anything, and the first day, I beg, if you are under 18 years, please mute your microphone. Don't listen to this. It's not very important for you. Now, the first day, you go to bed with the lady, and the lady is like, oh my God, you don't do it like my ex. The lady is quite open now to tell you that you are not good in bed like the ex. Because now we are talking about openness. Now we are talking about blank sheet be open. The lady's just been so open to you that no, the lady's trying to explain to you the styles that the ex was using that you are not using. That if you could do it like this, because this is the way the ex was doing, it would be good. Jerry, will you take this truth? Be honest.
So that truth like that is catastrophic, because I don't know where I will live from that bed to, but I can tell where she will live from that bed to. So we have touched on a very sensitive thing, and I want to use that opportunity to say that women, naturally speaking, are verbally empowered. Most of them believe they have to say everything, and that is the problem. They think that if they are not talking, something's wrong with them. A woman thinks that and this is where it really gets tough, because sometimes they dabble into holes they can't come out. And the guy listening to you say, okay, I'm not doing it like your ex. So the guy says, oh, really? So you are not even afraid to mention your ex in this meeting. You have the tenacity to not talk about his ability. So, to be honest, I answer on behalf of every man who is listening. I may not know where I will live from that bed to, but I can tell you where the lady will live to. It's terrible.
So now let me go to Anika. Yes, Jerry has answered on behalf of men. So Anika, I'm coming back to you. I want to put it to you in court. They say I put it to you. We are not in court, but I want to put it to you. Normally, as you said, I know that it was a one not, because you made a point that I did not have any question, but thank God the Lord has given me the grace to have this question to come back to you so that I can be able to make sure that I hate to be defeated. You said there is a point that you said which was quite excellent, that nobody could refuse, that if you get married to somebody when you have not told the person things that the person was supposed to know, you are like, no, it wasn't good in the first place. Now, are you very open to tell your boyfriend that he's just a 1 minute man as compared to your ex? Like maybe your husband, you tell your husband that the husband is a 1 minute man, or this is what the ex was not doing, or these are things that you should try first before marriage to tell them, so that before you don't get into marriage and then start saying things that you are not supposed to say. What am I even talking about? I don't know. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Daddy Chris. The first thing I want to say here is that it's true we are living in a polluted society where fornication, adultery has become now the order of the day, which so many of us we fell prey to such circumstances, right?
Yeah.
But now I want to go to the maturity part of it. We must accept, even as we speak, even if we grow to what age, there is a part of us that will always manifest immaturity. You as the recipient of whatever thing is happening, as the ex, as the man or the woman in bed, what that girl or that man has said to you is very, very demeaning to you, to your personality. But now you must accept that that's her own part of being immature. As well as you have your own part of being mature. You might not necessarily be immature in that situation of the bed part, but you might be immature in taking care or in handling other situations. If you react to what that lady has said the same way she said it, you are also being immature in that situation. Two wrongs cannot make a right. I always say that people have the choice to whatever action they carry out, be it good or bad. Okay, I have told you that you are a 1 minute man. Show me now that you are a mature man by telling me that, oh, I understand your frustration, but please, that's not how you talk to a man. You have taught me that it is not correct. That's not how they talk to a man. I've learned a lesson. Now, if you you start bullying me, talking to me, shouting at me, you are making yourself at the same level with me. That's why in a relationship, we must understand people's maturity in the different levels. It's not everything that we take with anger. We want to show our emotions. Show an example at that moment. You teach in as much as you are hurt in your heart, manage that anger in your heart. Tell the person that, look, in a calm tone, I know I didn't perform well, like you said, but this is not how you transmit your information. You can go by telling me that I should work on this, or if you see some new styles, if you know some new gestures that we can use to spice up this thing, please don't hesitate to teach me. Whether the relationship we end up in this relationship or not, you help in my next relationship. You have been mature. You have taught that person. You have outgrown that immaturity in that person. But then, if you allow yourself to be led by what that person said, you are not making any difference. You are not making any stop. You are not making any difference. So we must learn. One thing I want us to carry home in this particular example that I have given is that we must know the maturity level of our spouses or our partner in their different capacity. Know where your partner can misbehave and know where your partner cannot misbehave. And where you know he can misbehave, be able to compromise at that moment in order for that relationship to be good. So that's what I have to say. I hope I have.
Wow, they're winning me again. Guys, they have won me again. This live show is supposed to be ending, but I'm not ending it now. They have won me. It is not happening. Like, as you sure you people are hearing now, don't just go into a relationship and because you are so excited, you are telling your spouse that, and then you are telling your spouse like, no, honey, this is not what Jerry used to do to me. They are going to, people like me, I'm not matured. Let me just accept it. I'm not matured enough. Don't tell me, Jerry. Somebody like me, because it's very difficult to process that information. Like among 100 men, only 5, not up to 5, 2 can be able to take that information and then take it slowly and start telling you that next time process like that and do this. But which is actually the best way. If you're a man, like what Anika said, that is the best way to do that, because understand that it is their weakness as a lady, that is their own weakness, but she's just been quite open to you. It is not every lady that will say that, but if you have a lady that can be really willing to open up and tell you that, just know that the lady is not hiding anything from you, but you should be able to process the information. The question is that, like can Chris be able to process that information? Let's talk about it behind the camera, because I cannot say it now. So Electa says that we have already established that open communication. Then it's a must to build and maintain a healthy relationship. But that doesn't mean you have to tell your partner every little detail of your present or past life. So not only is it okay to not tell your partner everything, but it is also healthy to keep some secrets from your own. Now, secret of your own, sorry. Now, some things from your past may be too personal that you don't want anyone to know, and disclosing them won't benefit your relationship in any way. I think I agree with this one to a point, because there are things that will not actually benefit your relationship in any way. Sometimes, like trying to tell your spouse about, people have to weigh so much about your family. There are some people that when you start telling them so much about your family secrets, things that don't even concern your relationship, tomorrow they will use them to insult you, that they picked you from the gutters. They picked you from a family when they already sent you out of the home, and today you are talking. And again, just like Sidono said, that if they have to love you, they will love you. So tell them, a bit, I'm confused. What am I talking about? Now, they said, so now Electa says that those details are better left unsaid. If you can't stop talking and share a little too much about your ex, your partner might get the idea that you are still hung up on them. Okay? Now, also, comparing your past relationship is a big no-no. So don't tell your partner irrelevant and intimate details of your past relationship. Just give them an idea of who you were in the past, what you learned from your mistakes, and who you are trying to be. My candid opinion, this lady gets sense. Yeah, the point that she talked about, it has sense, a lot of sense in it. We are rounding up, guys. If we still have any topics I want to talk about, but I want to give you people the last chance to talk about things that you should tell your ex or your spouse and then things that you should not even tell your spouse. Just mention some few things that you should tell your spouse and things that you should never tell your spouse. Like what Electa has said, she has talked about some intimate things about your past that you should not tell them. Now I want to know things that you should tell them and things that you should not tell them. Jerry, should I bring you on board?
Okay. Thank you so much, Daddy Chris, for this beautiful time here with you. Before I say that, I just want to correct an impression very vividly, because I know that a lot of guys down there on the comment section will be wondering, oh, now here is what I want to just, before we got here, we were talking about just this point here where a lady, for example, in marriage says to the husband, my ex was better than you. You're a 1 minute man, my ex was better than you. And then now you say, oh, honey, I'm really sorry. I think we're going to work on this. Sir, as proof that you're mature. Now, in my opinion, this is not, what that lady did is not immaturity. When Satan said to God, I want to be like the most, I want to exalt my kingdom above yours and establish a government too, God would have thought, oh, I think he's just being stupid. I created him. I think he's not God. That's why he's thinking that way. I would think I will just call for some meetings and educate him. The Bible says he threw him out of heaven because it's called treason. You're rebelling against the same government that is making you now. The reason why he threw him is not just because of what he said. It's because of what he did to the angels. The Bible said that he seduced 1/3 of the angels and they fell with him. When a woman says something like that, it could mean more than it. Every statement that looks like that one is pregnant. And if you do not handle it with caution and just think, okay, well, I think she's just being immature. You're not married to your daughter. You're married to a woman. There are certain limits of immaturity. When a woman has the ability to compare you with her ex. Anyway, let me not go that way. You said I should say the last thing that what you should say in relationship and what you shouldn't say in relationship. We've said so much around this. but here is it. Things that have a connection with your future should not be ignored. For example, you had a child before you got married. Tell them. Let them know. I'm talking about the children that are alive. If they died, forget about them. If you had an abortion, I don't know how you got into it in the first place, because if you were following scriptures and following the word of God, you shouldn't have even been having sex before getting married. But now we're considering a situation where you messed up the whole stuff, and now you got this guy or this lady. No, don't talk about them. They are important, yes, but not to the relationship. Because how do they make use out of the fact that you got pregnant and aborted? Now, the guy that I was dating before was a very rich man. Oh, he used to give me a lot of gifts. Forget about it. This guy now is not that one. The lady was from a very rich family. Sometimes she used to pay my trips. Forget about it. Do not bring sentimental topics that are irrelevant. And this is my caution to all our beautiful ladies. We love you. I'm not a sexist, but you have to manage your mouth. The Bible says a wise woman builds her house with her hands. A foolish one tears it with her mouth. Not her hands, her mouth. The things you say will determine whether your relationship will continue or it will be taken to the mortuary. I think if we just manage our skeletons and take out the bombs, we'll have a beautiful life. That's what I think.
This is absolutely amazing. That is prophetic, at least. If someone attended this live show today and did not get a take-home message, I don't know. If your marriage gets a problem tomorrow, don't come to me. I have a lot of people inbox. I'm not a relationship counselor anyway. So if you bring it, this is the only way I can help you, by bringing powerful ladies and gentlemen to come and help you. I'm just a life coach. So now let's get you, Anika. What are things that you should tell your spouse, and what are things that you shouldn't tell your spouse? Oh, sorry, let's go. It looks like your mic is muted. Can you unmute yourself?
Oh, sorry. Sorry. I did not realize I muted it. So I was just saying thank you very much, Daddy Chris, for the creation and for the session. And thank you very much, then Jerry, for your point of view. like you said, you would not like to stress in that particular part of your first answer of the question that was asked to you. I would also want to enter into it. Okay. I would like what I want every lady or every man to talk about in their relationship. Talk about your health challenge.
Okay.
Talk about your health challenge. Talk about your religion. Talk about your beliefs. Talk about your ambitions. Talk about your purpose. Anything out of this four for me is a no to talk about, because at least this four has covered the different part of your life. Your ambition has to do with your life, your past, your present, and your future. Your purpose has to do with where you are guided to be, how you are guided to be. Your belief shape your purpose and your ambition, and the type of people that should be in your sphere, your circle. At least somebody from that point will know where he or she is standing, or if he or she can stand who he or she is talking to. Talk about your health. It is true our society is very ignorant when it comes to health. You are a lady at 21, you are 20, you don't know your blood group, you don't know electrophoresis, you don't know your hepatitis result. You have totally, you don't even know anything about your health. And you are going into a relationship, they are taking you to the court, boom, you are getting married. You don't know anything about yourself. That's your identity. After your ID card is your health. After your ID card is your health. You must know your health, and you must know the health of your partner too. Those are important things that you should say. You must discuss in that relationship before you even graduate to marriage. So those are the four things I have to share.
There is a certain line, Anika, that they used to draw on our chest, and we say everything without knowing. How do we control that? There's a certain line that you people used to draw on our chest. Like when you sit and you draw like that they will start saying everything. It is not easy. So some things in the relationship, Jerry, the line I'm talking about, right? When they sit and then immediately they draw that line. When they're drawing that line like that, you start talking about things that are still to happen in future. And then you're like, honey, I'm sorry. You'll be like, honey, I'm sorry, I killed the president of France. But the president of France is still alive. You are saying because of the line that they draw. So it is not our making, we men. So sometimes, how do we control these things? This is something that it takes the grace of God sometimes to be able to just cope in a relationship or to cope in marriage without having to release some secrets to your ex. Now, Anika, do you have any last word today to our audience before I let go of you?
Okay, my last word to everyone. First, I want to thank everyone that has been in the comment sections, talking, interacting with this particular program. In fact, God will bless you. It is wonderful. And I want to thank you, Daddy Freaks, for giving us this opportunity to share our insights, our own wisdom with the world, not just three of us on this platform, but with the entire world. This is actually the voice of the voiceless. This is the mandate. You are the mandate generation.
Of course.
So the last word I have for everybody is that manage every information with wisdom. Study the word of God. Study the word of God. Nobody came to this world by chance. I believe if you have the word of God in you, Proverbs and the book of Sirach, which is in some Bibles and it's not in some Bibles, those are good books to study. That helps you in your day-to-day life. That puts you on track with your day-to-day life. Those two books, I like those two books with all my heart. My husband knows that I like the book of Sirach. Like, I like that book because it's very clear. It states everything to you. How to manage husbands, how to manage parents, how to manage everybody in the society. Study the word of God and manage every information with wisdom. Have wisdom to manage your temperament. It's not everything you take war to chase it away. Yes, you might want to use war, but in that war, make sure you are not destroying that person in the course. You want to use war, but don't destroy people in the course of war. It's true, war always destroy, but not all wars destroy, especially when it comes to emotion. Please manage every situation with wisdom. Accept that there are mature and immature people in relationships. In as much as you are not mature in that person is immature in that situation, you are also immature in another situation. So not all these things in your head, but above all, apply wisdom. Seek wisdom. That's my last
Amen.
word.
Amen. You see, not all those things in your head, but above all, apply wisdom. Of course, Anika, we must say that it's been a wonderful evening with you here. You are such an amazing person, and I believe that your husband should be really proud of you. It was a wonderful opportunity to connect and to learn from you today, tap into your well of knowledge and experience. And of course, we believe that it is not the first, it's not going to be the last. So we are going to be having you during much interesting shows like this when you are going to come up and then educate our audience. And then we say goodbye and then see you next week again when we come up with another exciting show. And then now I'm going to be bringing Derek to St. Jerry, sorry, to give us the last word before we go. And then someone is pressurizing me. Ladies are pressurizing me at the comment section. You know, like this, I hate pressure. Small thing at the cry. Yes, it's just a little thing that makes me like this to give up. I don't like pressure. They're pressurizing me that I should give the name of the line that women draw on men's chest that makes them to go off topic. If I say that is the Picot Oliphant line, then people will say that no, I'm not speaking the truth. Because I don't know me the name of the line. I just know that it's a line that they draw on our chest and we start confessing known and unknown crimes. We just start to talk about things that we don't know before. So, ladies, please, if you want our marriages to last, stop drawing that line. Just let us be. We can do things and say everything, but when you start drawing that line, you make us to go off topic. You make us to confess crimes that we don't know about. So don't draw that line. I don't know the name of the line. I'm not going to talk about the name of the line because when they draw the line, I don't know. It's only after that I must have said things that I know that it was because of a line that was drawn. Now, St. Jerry, what is your last word to our audience today before we draw the final curtains of our tonight's show? What are you going to tell our audience, those who have been joining us from all the parts of the world, Cameroon, United Arab Emirates, United States of America, Nigeria, Ghana, Liberia, Uganda, and all over the world?
Wow. Daddy Chris, it has been an amazing time with you as always. I want to say this to our audience and to everyone who is going to follow this later on, that you are exceptional and you are amazing people. You know, we will not just come and sit here and begin to talk like this until we know that you're there. So you're actually the driving force behind this conversation. And I want you to know that you are important, you're loved, you're cherished. You are a family, not just followers. You are a family, and we esteem you very highly. I want to say that our relationships will only flourish to the extent to which we pay attention to these little principles. Someone said that little things that matter really matters. And I want to say lastly that wisdom will deliver you and save you from the dangers of knowledge. If you're following and you never wrote anything down, write this, it will help you. Wisdom will deliver you from the dangers of knowledge. Knowledge about relationships, knowledge about how to live with a man, knowledge about how to live with a woman, and how to have an exceptional relationship. Wonderful. But get wisdom. Else, the dangers of that knowledge is the very thing that will do you. But it is not a prayer. Our prayer is that you will have an exceptional life, exceptional relationship, and that you will become the very express image of what God made you to be. God bless everyone and continue to keep you alive. Thank you.
I am always thrilled by your advice and your last word, Jerry. The way usually comes in with a lot of full force, energy, inspiration, and motivation at the same time. And this is like, they always say that it is not all about how it begins, but how it ends. So it's always very important to listen to you talk at the end of the show too. It's such a powerful coach that a lot of people have been able to learn from you. And then this is your own way of doing your humanitarian activities. And I bless God for you. Again, I'll be so excited and God happy again to have you during more and more live shows like this, so that we can learn, because while our viewers, our audience are learning from you, I'm also seriously learning from you. Thank you so much, sir. And then I will be so happy to see you again next week when we come for another live show. And then just before we go, Parvin says that, and at the end of the day, you people will promise someone's heaven and earth and end up not fulfilling. Now, this question is for you, Parvin. When we are promising you that heaven and earth, where do you think that we are going, that the other ladies are going to go to? Somebody's son will come and they promise you heaven and earth, and then you are fully accepting that they should give you heaven and earth. But see your sisters, other ladies. So where do we keep these other ladies? This is not greediness. When you draw that line and we promise you, when somebody's promised heaven and earth, you can even ask him, yeah, honey, where will you keep my sister? Or where are you going to? Where is my mom going to go to? Where are my brothers going to go to? Even if you don't like other people. It wonders me when you see a lady saying that, no, he promised me heaven and earth and ended up leaving me like that. Like, seriously, they promise you heaven and earth and you want us to just, I don't even have the heaven and earth. Someone is promising you something, the person does not even have it, but they are willing to take it. We don't even own the heaven and earth, but we are promising you and you're accepting to take heaven and earth. So at the end of the day, it's not even our fault. It's the fault of the person accepting heaven and earth from someone who does not even have earth, not to talk of heaven. Hey guys, it was so amazing today. It was an interesting show. I actually learned a lot. I laughed a lot. I gained a lot of knowledge from these two amazing people, the young lady and young man that we had in the studio. And then, if you did not learn something today, I don't know what to say. But it doesn't matter what time you are joining this live show. If you join it at the end of the program, still go ahead, share, and then comment, because it's going to go viral and a lot of people will learn. See, this is our objective. We don't want to change the world. We want to change somebody. That is our objective. We might not be able to change the world, but we will change somebody, and that person will change the world. That is what we have. That is the essence of our live show. So if at the end of a live show every day we are able to change only one person, then it is that one person that will change the world. Of course, we have been having a lot of these testimonies. They get away that they come into my inbox, and it's like the food that I eat, it's like the air that I breathe, is the energy. I don't like, my aim is not to have a bank account full of money or an estate full of houses, but my aim is to be able to have ladies and gentlemen full of happiness, full of freedom, full of wisdom, full of knowledge. Life is like a city that you have not been there before, and you need a guide to be able to navigate in that city. So the essence of this, our live show, is to provide you with a guide to be able to navigate through your life experiences. It will help you to navigate through your finances. It will help you to navigate through your marriage. It will help you to navigate through your education. So if you're attending these live shows every weekend and you still remain the same, it means that something is wrong with you. Hey guys, thank you so much. I will be drawing the final curtains over today's program. Wherever you join us from today, I just want to say a big hi to you. Want to thank you especially for sparing your time, your data, and everything to join the live show. And again, don't miss the program again next week. We do come up here every weekend from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Cameroon time, 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then we share exciting topics, entertainment, culture, and everything. And then always make sure that you invite people to join us. And until then, I will say good evening, and may the good Lord bless you, keep you for me until I see you again next week. But I will be coming up with maybe details of our other live shows. God bless you and stay safe. Bye.